Welcome, everyone, to AI Unleashed. Thank you so much for being here. I am Rayson Frost, and I am really excited that we are here. We've got some latecomers coming in right on time, at real estate time. All right, so this event is a passion project of mine. I truly believe that AI is changing the foundational way in which we communicate online as professionals, as consumers, the way that we receive information, and the way that we market our businesses in a digital world. And today isn't going to be just a tech demo. It's going to be a real conversation between agents, marketers, and innovators about what's working, what's coming, and how to stay grounded in authentic, human-centered relationships while using AI to save time, stand out, and scale your businesses. You don't have to do everything, but you do have to start somewhere. And today, we hope you'll be able to help find a few steps on what that can look like for you. Before we dive in, I'd like to give a heartfelt thank you to our sponsors who made today's event possible. Not just with their support, but with their shared belief in innovation, collaboration, and community. Thank you to Stuart Title, Clutch Moving Company, woohoo, the Patterson team at Cross Country Mortgage, Brittany Gutton with Allstate, Rejuge.ai, and America's Preferred Home Warranty. Now, I'd like to introduce our incredible panel members. And instead of bios, I'm just going to tell you why I picked them. So Tony Ray Baker, okay, I almost picked him just because he has Ray in his name. I mean, come on, Ray's son and Tony Ray had to do it. But he also happens to teach AI for real estate agents nationally and leads AI CE courses right here in Tucson. Elizabeth Gotti is the Director of Operations for the Tyler Gotti team, where her role gives her time and space to explore and integrate AI in ways that many agents don't get an opportunity to. Sean Campbell is one of Tucson's top digital marketing experts, and he helps businesses elevate their visibility and marketing strategy. Mo Rousseau, author, coach, I hope I said your name right, I didn't even ask. All right, yes. Author, coach, and business strategist uses AI as a force multiplier for small business growth. And Aaron Eden, an AI tech and automation expert focused on helping organizations and entrepreneurs leverage emerging technologies so they can work smarter and continuously improve. Let's get started. We are going to do this by 7 topics of conversation. The first one is about mindset versus shiny tools, right? How to start and stay smart using AI, okay? Let's be honest, AI right now can often feel overwhelming. There are hundreds of tools, constant updates, and a lot of noise telling us what we should be doing, but the truth is, you don't have to do everything. You just need to know where to start and what's actually worth your time. This topic is about cutting through the hype and helping agents move from feeling stuck or skeptical to feeling clear, strategic, and in control of how AI fits into your business. All right, so let's get started. I'm gonna I know I gave you guys it says agent or tech expert, but I'm just gonna ask the question, and whoever feels like they want to answer can go for it. So let's start with this one. What's the best way for an agent to get started with AI without feeling overwhelmed?
Hello. Wait, what? All right, we're going to start with a joke. The reason that agents should not be afraid of AI is that agents are actually made from AI. AI agents. See? All right, good joke.
I have to follow that. What was the question?
What's the best way for an agent to get started with AI without feeling overwhelmed?
Okay, go to ChatGPT. Don't have to pay for a thing. That's the first thing I did. I went to ChatGPT. I wanted something solved. I asked ChatGPT how to solve it. It gave me the answer. That's how I started. If you have a problem, let AI be the solution, part of the solution. Let it help you get there. So there's 1,000 AI items, like you said, and I am a nerd geek that wants to play with every single one of them, and I probably have. So I can get lost down that rabbit hole, like some of you might get lost on social media for 6 hours and figure out that you shouldn't have been there in the first place. So I would say to you, go to AI and let it help you start solving the issue you're looking for, and that will teach you how to use AI. Does that work?
I love it. That's a good answer.
She wants to chime in on that.
To echo a little bit what Tony said, but also take it into a different perspective, right? I would say figure out what you want to get out of it. I wouldn't jump into AI just for the sake of using it. If you have a need, if you have a problem, I would first identify what the problem is, what it is that you're trying to solve, and what you want to accomplish with it. Then start talking to it about it. You could just throw your thoughts into it and see what comes back so that you can get a feel for what it's like to work with it. And then you can start tweaking from there. The first time you use it, if you have never used it, you haven't fed it information about you, about your business, about who you are and who you're speaking to. So it's going to give you some generic response that will probably not be at all what you were looking for, but that's okay. That's how you get started. I would say the first step, like I said, identify the problem, think about what it is that you're trying to accomplish with it. And if you don't have an idea on what it is that you're trying to accomplish, you probably don't need it. It probably is a shiny tool. So just beware of those rabbit holes. But overall, I mean, I have obviously found it to be super helpful. So, yeah.
One more thing. Has everybody here learned prompt engineering with AI? Has anybody not? So get a little cheat sheet. I'll give you one myself. Just how to speak to AI to get better results. And that will be a big step to talking to AI to getting where you want to go with what she and I are just telling you about.
Just a kind of level set. Who here has not used AI at all? Show of hands. So everybody here has some experience with AI? Oh, one here. Okay. So you should leave now. So the other thing is, if you don't want to invest time in prompt engineering, you can simply ask, like ChatGPT, how to best formulate the question or what additional information it needs to give you the best possible outcome. And it'll actually go through and give you a list of things that it would like to know to do that. So you don't have to invest a lot of time in prompt engineering, especially since you're all, for the most part, independent business people. So you're going to want to spend your energy in cultivating your new clients, selling homes, or whatever that part is, because AI is just really there to enhance your business. It's not necessarily there to occupy, your full attention at all times. But it's extremely helpful, and I love what I've heard so far. So I come from a background of coaching businesses across the country. And the number one thing I was going to suggest, which I've heard, is really figure out what business problem you're wanting to solve, and then see if there's a role for AI in that. Whether it's an additional resource you can count upon, or whether it's something that will help make your processes more efficient or effective. And that's kind of where I would start. But having a conversation with ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, I mean, there's so many large language models out there now. If you want to have fun, talk to Grok, Elon Musk's brainchild, because Grok is kind of special. Anyway, you have anything to add there, Sean?
Yeah. In addition to what everybody has said, when I need help with my business, I have one business coach, right? And if you're going to go to the gym, do you hire 2, 3, 4, 5 coaches, right? If you're going to find somebody to assist you in learning AI and how it could help your business, find one person and don't have 15 different people tell you how they utilize it. Because once you find that one person who understands your business needs and how you utilize it, you're going to get a lot of other people who think that they're experts. I don't consider myself an expert in AI. It's just I'm a very, very good student at it still. But when it comes to AI, I listen to one person. It's this gentleman right here. And with my business, I listen to one person. I don't have 55 different people tell me how I should be doing it. Keep it very, very simple at first. And if you need somebody to assist you, find just that one voice to help to guide you through it.
Let me just quickly touch on the shiny object syndrome, which was the other half of the question. Knowing now that most of you are already playing and diving into AI. So on the shiny object syndrome, like between like ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or Grok or those kinds of things, for the most part, the things that you're going to need to be able to do in your business, you can do with any of them, and they're all in such fierce competition. They're coming out with new features every other week. And so I'm sure I could speak for everybody up here, which is like those of us that are trying to keep up with it, it's insane to keep up with. It's impossible to keep up with, even if you're trying. So it's best to like figure out your business problem that you're trying to solve. Go pick one of them and get started with it. And don't worry about all the other stuff, because even if the one you're using doesn't have that feature right now and a different one has it, yours will have it probably pretty soon. And so just don't sweat it. Focus on getting comfortable with one of them, because they all have different kind of personalities and ways you interact with them. So get comfortable with one that's solving a real business problem for you.
And the more you interact with it, the more it gets to know who you are and how to best interact with you. So it's really important to settle on one and continue to use that. Although it's a lot of fun to go play with all the rest of them too.
So I heard from that, pick one, go deep, and don't jump ship too soon, right? And something else I know that I tend to have a lot of problems picking something, right? Because there's so many choices out there. So something that's really helped me is one of my coaches said, I should have just said one coach, but one of my coaches, I have trouble picking one, busted. They said that the best use of your time is to figure out the things that you hate doing and try and get AI to do that for you, right? So if you hate making video, use AI to make video for you. If you hate doing social media posts, use AI to make those posts for you. So you are valuable as an agent because you are unique and you are authentically you. So if you find the things that you love and you lean into those, and then you use tech to help you assist in the things that you don't like, that might be an option as well. So with that, I do want to ask a quick mindset question. What mindset shift do you believe is necessary for agents to help them embrace AI instead of fear it? I have an opinion.
Pass that right on over.
So I'm big on mindset for everything. I think that being in real estate, having been an agent in the past and now being in an operations role, I can absolutely see the value in it. I would say AI is not going to do the work for you. It is leverage. It is a tool. It will assist you. It will get you farther than you ever thought you could. But you have to feed it valuable information. You have to give it valuable instruction, specific instruction. So you are still the brains behind the operation. You're just learning how to leverage that piece of technology to further your business. So it's an assistant. It's leverage. It's not going to replace you. It's not something to be fearful of. If you were to hire an assistant for any specific task in your business, you would have to go through training. You would have to talk to that person, show them how you do business. It's the exact same thing with AI.
That's a great analogy, though.
That's a great, yeah.
Assistant, yeah. Anybody else?
Anyone else for that? Okay, great. All right, so before we move on to the next topic, I want to take a moment to spotlight one of today's sponsors, Stewart Title. Lauren, if you would please stand up. Yay, thank you. I connected with Lauren Smith recently through a networking group, and what stood out immediately was her genuine interest in supporting the real estate community. When I shared the vision of this mastermind, it's something a little bit different than usual lunch and learn, she did not hesitate. She saw the value in creating a space for agents and industry leaders to explore what's next, and she said yes right away. We all know that when it comes to choosing a title company, communication and follow through are everything. And as an agent, you want to know your escrow partner has your back. And that's exactly what Stewart Title demonstrated by supporting this event. So thank you again to Stewart Title and Lauren for showing up for agents and investing in the future of real estate. Our next topic is the consumer shift. AI isn't coming, it's already here, and our clients are using it every day, sometimes even without realizing it. Think about how Google now delivers AI-generated overviews at the top of search results, or how Gmail automatically summarizes emails. Many buyers are asking ChatGPT about school districts, home values, and even the best real estate agents near me. Whether it's passive or proactive, AI is already shaping how consumers search, communicate, and make decisions. This conversation is about understanding those shifts so that we as agents can show up in the right place with the right message at the right time. So let's get started. I actually do want to start with Sean here because I want to know what you see are the biggest shifts in how consumers are receiving digital marketing.
Yeah, and I was looking forward to this question the most because I think we all are going to provide just big pieces of gold nuggets to each one of you today. My thing that I can offer, if you hear anything that I say today, is that if you go to a Best Buy, we were talking about this earlier, about Tony and your website. Right now you go to Google, who's the best, coolest real estate agent in town, where can I get a loan, etc. And based on all the SEO stuff and the Google stuff, it'll pop up, right? Where's that going? Like, where's that transitioning now? If you go to Best Buy and buy a Chromebook, new Chromebooks do not have Google search. How many people realize that today? If you get a new Google Chromebook, did you realize that it does not have Google search? So where's this going? That's why we're here, right? So AI, and I want to make this very, very short, but I was on an hour-long conference, not a conference call, but a seminar. Long story short, where it's going is that we're going to go to chat, and we're going to go to all the other AI components, and they're pulling their data from everywhere else, right? You guys right now are in prime position because when people go on AI to find the nearest realtor, to find where I can get a loan, to find where the inspection and all that, it's going to be based on your content, mostly on your content that you're putting out there, meaning what you're doing now on social media. Do you have a podcast? Have you written a book? What are you doing out there to position yourself as a local expert in your area? So if you think about it, that's huge for small businesses and solopreneurs, because if you've been on that ship or you've been posting on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, all the value and information and all the community related stuff, when Google search and Bing search is completely out, it's pulling that data from that personal content that you've done, your reputation, right? And some other factors, again, it takes forever. But that's probably the biggest thing that I can offer you today. It's like for that consumer who's going to be looking for you very, very soon when search is gone and they go to an AI component, a lot of that's going to be based off the content that you're putting out there to position yourself. Does that make sense? A little bit?
I'm just going to flip it around briefly. So how many of you really have a good definition of who your core customer is? Right? You can pick a person by name and say, that's my core customer because they provide me these things, right? So I would say that AI is a great tool to help you really understand who your core customer is. And that's where I would start, because in most businesses, it's about the services you provide your customers, hopefully better and differently than anyone else. So you differentiate yourself. You're a unique entity in the sphere of all the searches they're doing, and they'll tend to gravitate towards you because they'll understand that you really understand who they are, and they're going to want to do business with you. So it's not exactly an AI response type thing, but it's a fundamental concept that you need to master in order to be successful in any business. And that's why I bring it up.
Told you ahead of time. And just take it one step further on what Mo just shared. A starting point, I would say, would be to have AI analyze your social media, analyze the content that you're putting out there, and see who you're actually speaking to. And if you're not speaking to your ideal client, then you can start reframing what you're putting out and asking those questions out of AI, like how do I actually communicate with my target audience as opposed to who I'm communicating with. That's not who I really want to work with. So again, just a little bit of strategy on that end for your business.
Cool. One tack. Did I cut?
No, you go.
All right. All right.
You said cool. Cool.
Cool. All right. All right. I'll take it. I forgot what I was going to say now. We were running a workshop a couple of weeks ago with a bunch of local small business owners, and one of the techniques that we taught them was basically taking what Mo was just talking about and having some description, some details about your target customer, or maybe there's multiple sort of versions of that customer that you engage with, and actually creating like a customer panel with it. And so we taught them how to basically put the descriptions of those different customer segments into a single document. And then now if there's maybe a LinkedIn post that I'm getting ready to put out, I can actually put that LinkedIn post in front of multiple virtual customers and get their feedback on my LinkedIn post to see how it might resonate, right? It's not going to be exactly what a real human would do, but it's significantly better than just putting it out and hoping for the best. So having your target customers be able to kind of give you feedback on your marketing content or sales copy or even an email is a great way to balance those things out.
So the consumer side is what we were talking about, right? The consumer, right? So when AI really started going, we've been using it for over 10 years. All of us have. We've been using it on our phones, and you just didn't maybe not know it. But a few years ago when open source hit, which was the same as when the internet hit and became available for all of us to create websites, we're now in that generation where we get to all play with AI. The consumer now is using SEO, which is the search engine optimization, to find your websites, and that is still working. And I will tell you that Bing, which is ChatGPT, is a horrible search tool. It did not build on organic search, and it did not build on the great things that Google built on. So now, because of the backlash on GPT for the search, you'll notice that GPT now searches all search engines, not just Bing. When they're using these search engines, it's very powerful because if you've got content on the web, and I'm talking a website, if you've got good content that's authentic, original content that you created and it's already been ranked with Google, that is content that AI is searching. And it's actually attaching to all the other things we're talking about, which is LinkedIn and all these other things. It's looking at all of it. But I have had my last two customers, one came from Grok and one came from ChatGPT. Both of them asked for an agent in Tucson, Arizona, and it asked for the best agent. The reason I was picked, and I was the only agent that they were given. So that's very interesting. So when they called me, the decision was done. I didn't have to sell them on me in any way. They both have now gone into contract. And what I discovered was very quickly was we were switching our website content. We were adding what's called AI GEO, which is how you speak to AI based on how the consumer speaks and asks questions. So on all my Google content pages, I'm adding FAQs at the bottom of those pages written from AI, asking it to read the page and then tell me what is the consumer questions around this page that I need to resolve for AI specific GEO. It gives me all the information, I put it on my page, and instantly AI now is happy with my page. And it's working.
I I am going to actually ask Aaron to tag in on something because I realized that there was a specific question and discussion we have talked about that is not actually in my questions in the past, and it kind of fits in here. So off script, you're not prepared for it. I have not given you this question, but we've talked about it before. Okay, so in this world of utilizing ChatGPT and as things are advancing, one of the things that probably not just I use ChatGPT. I picked one. I stuck with it. I've listened to my coaches. Okay. I use ChatGPT. But they now are coming out with what's called AI agents. And I realized that we didn't have this in the questions. And I do want to make sure that all of you understand the difference between all the different types of AI, and in particular, what an AI agent is. I'm not even actually sure what ChatGPT calls an AI agent is actually an agent officially. So I'd like you to explain sort of that, the difference between going in and writing a post and using AI for that versus an actual AI agent.
We'll go back to my first terrible joke. I won't make you relive it. So the way to think about it, I think in simple terms, is really like in a normal interaction with the AI, you're asking a question or asking it to do a task for you, and it's able to do that task usually in a single step or two. What's happening with the AI agents is that rather than being able to give it a single step to go do, you connect it to many other different systems and allow it to go do many steps for you. So you can get a few minutes of productivity or tasks out of it. They're still not robust enough to go off for a long period of time and replace or automate all of your work. But think about it as having something that can go and take action on your behalf. It can go and post on LinkedIn for you. It can go and draft some of the emails on your behalf, not just in Gmail, but literally like being somewhere else and going like, hey, I need an email drafted for this thing, and it goes and drafts the email. After looking up details about the customer in your CRM system and then posting in other places. So an example of it, how we're using it in my business is that we've got a meeting note taker, which I'm sure many of you are using, the AI meeting note takers, because it'll capture the tasks and the follow-ups and all that kind of good stuff for you. Our AI agent will be in the meetings. At the end of the meeting, if there are tasks that I committed to doing during that meeting, it will actually go into our project management system. It'll put the tasks in the project management system assigned to me with the appropriate due dates. If it was a sales conversation, it'll take the details of that and put it into my CRM system. And I can ask it questions at any point in time about any of our customers because it can just go look them up in the CRM system. So basically, my team doesn't have to interact with CRM or project management for the most part. You just sort of are doing your work, and it's helping you along the way. So it does really become a teammate and kind of part of the work. But it's the same stuff under the covers. It's just using the large language model and then giving it these other systems and tools that it can interact with. Good.
And I can't wait until that becomes part of real estate agents' life as a whole.
It's here today. It's here today.
How many of you have, say, ChatGPT on your phone? Yeah. How many of you use the vocal feature where you talk to it? Yeah. That's another great tool. You just tell it, I want you to behave as if you're this person, and give it some parameters. And then you start, I want to practice my pitch with you, or I want to practice this with you, and it'll listen to you and give you feedback as you go along. It's a great tool. I just wanted to point that out since we were talking about those things.
Thank you all. Any last minutes things on this topic?
I can throw a little bit on Agenic to simplify it, to make it really weight simplified. If you just imagine, Manus came out first, really off the gate, and I had Manus actually just build me an entire website. And it keeps coming back and asking me questions. It did 72 hours with me of work, and it just constantly came back and asked questions and let me pick choices, and then it executed. So Manus is really leading, I think. I don't know if anybody's doing Agenic like Manus yet, but imagine you're out with a client, you're in the city, and you need a restaurant because they want the best Mexican food, and you don't know what that is, and you just tell AI, I need the best Mexican food in the area, and it's going to give you 3 choices, based on reviews. You say, yes, that sounds great. It says, what time do you want to eat lunch? You say 1 o'clock. It calls, it makes a reservation, comes back to you and tells you your reservation's done. That's agenic. That's because AI is now to that place where it's able to start responding and taking a little bit of control of things for you where it can connect on the web is really what it's doing, I think. Right? Yeah? I have to go to these guys because I just basically...
So for our next spotlight, before we go on to our next topic, Connor with the Patterson Group at Cross Country, do you want to stand up? Say hi. All right. Connor is not only one of today's sponsors, but someone I trust, a lender that I trust deeply with my clients. When I choose a lending partner, I look for 3 things: proactive communication, a mindset of never stopping the search for the best possible option for my clients, and someone who sees questions as a way to build trust, not as a challenge. He knows I ask a lot of questions. And Connor checks all of these boxes and more. He was also one of the first people, actually he was the very first person to say yes to this AI mastermind idea. And he's always asking, how can I help? What can I do to support you? It's that spirit of collaboration and client commitment that makes Connor and his team such a valuable part of this community, and I'm really grateful for his support here today. Okay, topic number 3. Stand out, don't blend in. Branding and content that resonates. Okay, it's here, we know it. AI-generated content is showing up everywhere. Whether it is the telltale sign of the long dash, yes, you'll see it on my notes if anyone takes a peek. Your inbox is full of it, your social feed is full of it, and your clients are starting to notice. The real opportunity isn't in using AI to create more noise. It's in using it to sound more like you, to share your unique voice, values, and expertise in a way that actually builds trust. This topic is all about branding and content creation, how to use tools like custom GPTs, video, and smart prompts to create high-quality marketing without losing the human touch. So whether you're just getting started or already batch filming with custom chat GPT prompts, this is where we'll talk about how to use AI to stand out, not just show up. So let's go ahead and start. Since I mentioned it, and we haven't gone there yet with chat GPT, what are custom GPTs and how can agents use it to express their brand voice, or how to get started in creating one? Or even what's the value in a custom GPT versus regular chats?
Okay, so I run 5 businesses, and in order for me to be able to work only 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, no weekends, no nights, and run those 5 companies, AI is one of those essential tools that keeps me where I need to be efficient in the efficiency. One of the things that I have a problem with is fog brain. When I get up in the morning and I need to write a listing description, it takes a while to figure out what's in the house and all that stuff. So I wrote a GPT of my own. I did go to prompt engineering school because I'm a geek and a nerd, and I did do that. But I wrote a GPT because that was how I graduated from the class. But that GPT, that little guy, actually saves my entire team a ton of time because I told it everything I wanted every single time, like check all of NAR rules, check all of fair housing rules, make sure you understand all the Arizona and city laws. Every single time I ask you to write any description, you're going to create all these items. I want a blog, I want an MLS description, I want a Facebook post, I want all these outputs, I want a flyer, I want this all done for me in one shot. And I'm going to load the floor plan and 9 photos, and you're going to do all the rest. All I have to give it is an address. So all I now do is load the photos, put in the address, and push the button. In seconds, I have everything I need to pass to my assistant or anybody else on my team, and they can take all of it or whatever they want, and they can use it in all of our marketing. It's probably saving me 2 hours every time. So if you're listing 50, 60 houses a year, just imagine the hours saved. It's 100, 120 hours, right? So that's how I'm using one little GPT.
To go back to your question, Rayson, what Tony just described is a wonderful example of a custom GPT. If you're using Gemini or if you're using Claude instead, in Gemini, you can create a saved, it's called a gem in Gemini, but it's the same thing. You're saving a prompt to be able to reuse it again in the future for something that you're doing over and over again. If it's Claude, you can set up a project in Claude, and it's the same kind of thing. So it's really like, what is the task that you're doing over and over again and you don't have to type the prompt in every single time. You just give it the steps and know that it's going to follow those steps consistently.
And from a business coaching perspective, I created a GPT that basically is their coach when I'm not available. So I uploaded all my favorite business books. I've uploaded all my newsletter articles that I publish. I publish a newsletter every week on business concepts. And it's also learned my style over time because I've been at this for a while. And my clients can literally say, I'm having this business problem, talk, and a lot of people will use it on their phone. And so they'll start talking to ChatGPT, run through the custom GPT with them, and it'll give them some potential solutions. So it's something I'll say, and it doesn't take very long to set one up. So you got one?
When you mentioned this, a funny story came to mind. I remember like one of the last official type of lengthy type of emails that I wrote back to a client. They replied right away. It's like, this is nice, Sean, but stop using so much AI for your stuff. But it was something that I actually wrote, right? Every other correspondence before that was AI. So the one thing that I actually took the time, like I need to spend some time to explain something and blah, blah, blah. She's like, I wish you would have given me like a genuine response instead of running it through AI. So that's one of the things with all my clients, and I create a profile. And I learned this from Mo actually, is I created, everything from their website, everything from their social media. I run them through an interview. So all the content is exactly how they would say it in their brand and their voice. And in speaking with small business owners, I think that's one of the biggest things that holds them back is like, I don't want to just put out AI content. Well, you're not really putting out just AI content, you're amplifying your voice if you do it right. But like we've all been kind of stated a few times before, you got to educate and train your AI and who you are, what you're all about. Mo, you told me this fascinating story how you went back and forth for about a week, and all the content you put out on LinkedIn, I was like, God, Mo, that's nothing to do. It's like he's just putting out all this content, all these great, anecdotes you're sharing and all your content. And after a few weeks, like, how are you doing that? And then you told me how you created your own system. And yes, how much content do you put out every night? A lot. Yeah, plus he's writing books and everything else. But you spent about a week or so in training his AI on who he is and how he would respond to all of his clients, the way Mo Russo would do it.
It was more than a week. It was like 4 months.
4 months. Oh,
Yeah.
a week, 4 months. Same thing.
And no, let's follow up with sort of. Do you want to go ahead?
Oh, well, just one small note. Again, from the strategic point of view, that's how my brain works. I would say find one task. Start with one task or 2 or 3 if you've already been using it for some time, and get really granular on how to build those custom GPTs. Once you have your own system down on how to create them, then you can start expanding. I wouldn't jump in and try to do your entire business AI-based tomorrow. Just try to, again, get the basics and then go from there. And again, to expand a little bit on content creation and making them sound like your authentic self and how to speak to your target audience. I'm huge on the DISC personality profiles. I use that constantly with AI. I will tell them, I'm talking to a client. I also function as an ISA for my team. So I'll be talking to a client and I'll get stuck sometimes, and I'll tell my GPT, like, hey, I have this specific personality profile. This is what they've said. How can I communicate this in a style that they will receive it well and that they'll understand what I'm trying to convey? So that's just another way that you can use AI in your business.
I am going to transition us to video, right? So I want you to tell me a little bit about why video is such a powerful branding tool for agents. How are you using AI or not using AI to help create it?
So I am not using AI for video creation itself. I think that's something that I'm going to leave to the experts. But I am using it to give me ideas on how can I present myself in the video, right? I'm mostly doing like video journaling style for my social media right now, and it's not something that goes on the team's business social media. It's just for my personal page. But I am asking it, this is the idea that I'm trying to convey. How can I communicate? How should I present myself to really become the real estate authority for my Facebook audience, for my LinkedIn audience, or whatever platform I'm going to be using that in? I'm using it for helping me with scripts. I typically have an idea already of what it is that I want to say. And again, you should be the one feeding AI your ideas. You shouldn't be relying on AI to give. It can give you content, but again, if you want to stay true to yourself and speak to your audience, then you should be coming up with some sort of idea of what you want to say, and then finding ways to streamline that communication, make it seamless and faster to give that output.
Video. So I'm the AI guy. I teach a lot of AI all over the United States. And the one thing that is funny about me is I am anti-AI for video. And when it comes to humans, you have to understand that every single person out there now that's probably under 40 years old has an AI filter in their brain, and they're seeing it as quickly as it arrives. They know that you didn't write it. They know that's not you and that that's a clone. I don't care how good it is. They know it's a clone. I have all kinds of clones. I'm telling you, they're great. Anybody could pick it out if they have AI brain. What's going to put us all right now, in the lead is to stop worrying about what we look like, how we sound, and this has always been the same. Preach and you've heard. Just get on the video and screw up, laugh, cry, show emotion, have bloodshot eyes, look to the left, look down, do not look straight ahead all the time. That's what a clone does. They are going to fall in love with you and trust you because of your tone of voice and the content that you give to them on that video. As far as other videos, I use a little guy named Runway ML. He's very quick and easy to use. I can throw 5 little photos of a house and tell Runway to animate all 5 of those videos, turn it into a scroll stopping tour, and use that on social media real quickly just to get people to stop and watch the videos. And on that, I can actually lay over my voice telling them about what they're seeing and get them used to hearing me. So when they call and they hear my voice, we have total authenticity. So use AI, but remember, you're the star. They want your face and your voice in front of them.
I'm going to interrupt you just for a second because you mentioned it. So what about using AI voice?
God. No.
And you will see that the world is going to be split very definitively between these two lines.
Look, it's about the project. If you want to use, I did one with the podcast on 11 Labs, and it was very cute. And these 2 people come on and they talk all about Tony Ray and the book he just wrote and all that. And it was very cute. But everybody else has got the same 2 voices, and everybody knows that's AI now within a week, right? So you could use AI voice for some things. You could just be clear. We talked about this earlier. That you could just be clear right up front. This is Scooby-Doo. Tony Ray asked me to train you, and he's not available right now, so you get to listen to me. That would be funny. But don't try to make people think that that's you, and it's not going to fly.
What about cloning? Now they're coming out with cloning your own voice so that it sounds like you, but you don't have to do the talking. You can write in the script and it will put your voice over the photos.
Yeah, so I have a coach that does clone his voice, and it's so obvious every single time, and he uses all the most expensive stuff on AI. No, just don't do it. It's stupid. It just doesn't sound right. It's going to be monetized. It's weird. I don't know. It's AI. People are going to know it's not you. But that's my
Hey, I've got an example where we've got all of these different AI courses that we've created for the AI Trailblazers, and so I'm delivering these courses live. We've got video recorded versions of them, and I want to put them up online. I want to create e-learning versions of these things. The problem is that the AI stuff changes every week, and so my content is out of date. As soon as I publish it, it's out of date, and I'm constantly having to update it. And so what I've done in that example, I think what you're saying is right. There's the human connection is actually the power that we have with all of this crazy AI stuff is our ability to connect as humans. And so what I've done in that example is I have done one of the AI avatar clones, but up front, I have a video recording of me, and I'm explaining exactly what I just told to you. Hey, this stuff changes every couple weeks, so there's going to be spots in this that are actually AI-generated versions of me. I'm sorry, but I'm doing it so that we can be able to have the content up to date and current, right? And like be transparent about it. And otherwise, then they look at it and go like, who's this guy? Like, why should I listen to him?
Yeah, like the others here, I've used Synthesia, which is it's a clone of your voice and your image to make videos. I've used 11 Labs, which is a voice clone, Notebook LM for the podcast, all that kind of stuff. And quite frankly, most customers could care less, right? But I did find one area where it's actually proven to be very valuable. I can create videos. Like, for example, when I do my quarterly strategy sessions with my clients, I'll try to introduce a new concept or a new business book to them, and I'll create a training video with AI on that book. And that seems to work out pretty well.
Yeah, 100% agree with what Tony says. I mean, did I turn it off?
No, it's on.
Is it on? No. Oh, there it is. 100% agree with Tony. Your video has to be you, period, right? So, however, you can use some AI tools to assist in the other part of the video, which is the editing part, which seems to be... I'm not turning it on.
Dying on the here.
Dying.
We can share mine.
Okay. So what I use most of the time is a tool called opus.ai, and you could run your video through it and it'll do all the cool little editing. What's another thing, and just kind of getting off topic a little bit, but most of your videos, if not all of them, should be like this, right? Up and down. So why is that important? So you could utilize that across multiple platforms. So you utilize it across Facebook as a reel, Instagram as a reel, on stories, TikTok, YouTube Shorts is huge. That's one of the main things that, getting back to my previous statement about where they're finding the top people in your area. So make sure that it's up and down, run it through Opus, and there's different AI tools you could use to edit it. So again, it's you. It has all the necessary imperfections. So you're very, very human, but it also puts the text on there. What percent of videos are not listened to?
I never listen to them.
Never. So 100% right here, but I think the official stat's 90%, right? 80 to 90% are never listened to, so it's read. But video is still very important. Again, opus.ai, run it through that, and it's I think it's like $20-30 a month. But for the amount of time that it saves me, and it'll save yourself and professional looking videos, that's what I would recommend.
So I'm going to add, because we've mentioned multiple platforms, the same is true with multiple platforms. You can use AI tools to repurpose or schedule out into multiple platforms. But the key to being effective is to pick one platform, design your content and rules around that one platform, go ahead and repurpose it to all those other places, but focus on one at a time, get really good at it, master it, and then you can go on to another, because every platform has different rules and guidelines. That's a little bit. And I have to get back to my notes. So we're going to give a big thank you to Matt Mayer and Regiz.ai. Regiz.ai is a personal AI marketing assistant for real estate agent teams and brokerages. It helps to automate localized content creation and social media marketing so you can build your brand and connect with your local audience. It's your AI marketing assistant who will create and automate across channels, from listing videos to print flyers to your own AI avatar, if you go that route, narrating local news stories. I will say that I started using Regiz a few months ago, and for me, it's been a huge step up from doing everything manually. Finding a news article, writing the post, designing the graphics, scheduling it. Now Regiz curates the content, generates a caption and image, and lets me decide when and where to post. What's great about it is that it creates local content that you can choose the subjects, topics. I have coffee news, coffee shop saved, so I can go in and it'll search online for all the news articles related to coffee, create a post for me, and all I got to do is push to schedule it. They are not here today, but a big thanks to them for being one of our sponsors. And at the back, we'll have at one of the tables, you will have a QR code. You're welcome to do a free demo consultation with them to find out more about what they offer. All right, let's talk about automating the repetitive, amplifying the human. Again, we'll continue that topic, and save time without sacrificing connection. So most agents don't get into real estate because they love data entry or chasing down signatures. They got into it to help people, to connect, advise, and guide. So the truth is that the admin side of our business can take over if we let it. So this conversation is about how can AI help give us time back, automate repetitive tasks, and so that we can double down on the human relations that matter most. Okay? So I'm going to start with beyond ChatGPT for social media posts, what's one repetitive task that most real estate agents could or should be automating with AI today?
Follow-up. I think that real estate agents don't have a prospecting issue. They have a follow-up issue. You get a lead, you attempt to call them once or twice, and then you leave it. Follow-up has to happen, and I think that AI is a great tool to make that happen, make it consistent. Aside from helping you create a follow-up sequence or help you find that rhythm and that cadence on communication, you can also use it to create a checklist or create an actual system that you can follow and use every single time. Most CRMs have this built in where you can create something and use it. Most agents don't use it. So that's, I would say, the most valuable, in my opinion, of course, use that you can have for it.
All right. Yeah, so just building on that a little bit. So during the day, when I'm Bruce Wayne instead of Batman, during the day, I work for Intuit. And my team inside of Intuit over the last 2 years has automated 1 million hours worth of manual work that's happening with bookkeepers and tax pros and other folks across the company. That's the big company story of what's possible with all of this automation. But if you sort of look under the covers, it's a bunch of little stuff. It's, now I don't need to go do this one thing that costs me 10 minutes a day or something like that, right? And you multiply that across thousands of people, and now you get gigantic numbers. So I think the key is, especially as an entrepreneur, like there's parts of your business that you're now executing, and there's part of your business where you're still learning, right? Maybe you've already figured out who your target customer is, and you figured out how to attract them on a consistent basis, and you've got a little bit of a repeatable system around attracting customers. And so that part of the business is part that you should consider potentially automating. The parts that you don't know yet that you're still trying to figure out, you should avoid automating. You can still use the AI to help you along the way, but you should avoid automating those things until you've got a repeatable way of doing it. You know that it's working, right? And now you need some scalability around that and want to kind of like build your own virtual team and continue to grow. So I think, building on the idea of like follow-ups or lead gen or these kinds of things, one of the things that's really magical about the AI tools is this idea of hyper-personalization. That rather than me pushing out a marketing message that looks the same to lots of different people, I can now very surgically communicate with each one of you, knowing what you care about and what's important to you. And so, I was talking before about my team not needing to interact with our CRM system. In the morning, each morning, I get in my drafts, in my Gmail drafts, I get a pile of emails where the draft email, I open it up and it's a follow-up to one of my customers that I need to follow up to. And inside it, it says, option A, here's one email. Option B, here's email 2. Option C, here's email 3, right? And I go through and I tweak that to what I need to make sure that it's really the appropriate message for this person and the right follow-up. So I would say looking for those small little tasks where it can help you along a little bit, but make sure that you're automating stuff that you know works, and don't try to automate something that you're not sure works yet.
So I would approach this from a business first perspective, not necessarily technology. There's this really great business book out there by Dan Sullivan called Who Not How. I don't know if any of you read it, but the premise is that you kind of go and do a self-inventory and you put the things that you do in 3 different buckets. The first bucket would be things that you do that give you a lot of joy and energy. Things that you do that are necessary but are kind of make you feel like, meh, I wish I didn't have to spend a lot of time on that. And then things that just drive you totally crazy and you just hate doing them, right? So the premise of the book is you get rid of all that bottom stuff. The meh stuff, you kind of figure out what's important, but then you look for a who to delegate it to. And in a lot of cases, that who can be some form of AI, right? So that's kind of how I counsel my clients is let's figure out who you can delegate the stuff that don't give you joy and energy to somebody else or something else like AI, and then we'll work on it from there. But there's so many tools available to you, but I think in order to really determine, how to best leverage yourself, you might want to go through an exercise like that. Because if going to work every day fills you with joy and energy because you only get to work on the stuff you love, you're going to be wildly successful, right? You're not going to, worry about all these other tasks because you know they're getting done properly and allows you to focus on the things that you excel in.
Yeah, and I know what I do is a little bit off from what everybody else does, but I utilize AI to have my own monthly and quarterly meetings because I'm always instilling all my goals and what I want to do. And for me, it kind of keeps me on track. This sounds very, very funny. I think I mentioned this too, but I've named my AI. So every morning we start with a little conversation. So every time I'm going through my day, when I go through my work, my AI will suggest, hey, that's great, but what about this, this, and this, going back to my goals or what I want to achieve every month, every week, every day. So again, it's going back to utilizing it as an assistant, and it kind of keeps me kind of on that path of what I want to achieve, not just for this quarter, but leading into next year.
Moving company?
Everybody wants to stand up and stretch their legs. Feel free to. I'm a big people person, and a lot of respect to you guys up here and lady on the panel. We are big believers of AI. We use AI in everything that we do, so everything you're saying is valid. So please, if you don't use it, take everything they're saying into consideration for your businesses and what you're doing, because it is real. But my name is Joseph Frangos. I'm here with Clutch Moving Company. We are Tucson's premier moving company, and we really do everything and anything you can imagine that a moving company does. Now, if you're wondering if I am a mover, I'm not. I'm just naturally a really big guy. But we do residential, we do commercial, we do labor only, junk removal, full packs, really, like I said, anything that you need. Now, just out of curiosity, does anybody get emails from us? Yeah? Okay. So those are automated. Shout out to AI. We utilize AI for our marketing. But because anybody in here, if you recommend us or refer any business to us, just know that we do have a referral program where we'd like to throw you just a thank you, some sort of gift card or something we can do for you. And then if it's somebody that you know really, really well, we can give them a discount on their move. So we do like to give discounts to our customers, especially when they were referred from people like yourselves who believe in your business and believe in yourself. So thank you so much for having us, Rayson. I appreciate it. And again, thank you.
I also want to give a big shout out to Brittany Gutman with Allstate. She was not able to make it today. She's one of our sponsors. What I truly appreciate about Brittany is she doesn't just sell insurance. She helps homeowners feel confident and protected. She actually takes the time to educate clients, answer questions. Y'all already heard I like to ask a lot of questions. So I like to work with people who are willing to answer mine and my clients' questions thoroughly and to help them find the right fit for each situation, which is exactly the kind of partner you want when navigating big life transitions like buying or selling a home. So thank you, Brittany. I know she's not here. We can say thank you anyway for the video. All right. Okay, we are actually going to move on to, we've touched on this briefly, which is about keeping it real and safe, privacy, trust, and ethics. So here, we want to know, how do you protect client privacy while using AI tools? Specifically, one person had a question: if an agent uploads docs into ChatGPT or any other place with sharing turned off, is that secure? What are the best practices? Is that going straight to the AI tech?
Do you guys know the answer to that?
I'm not speaking on security from there.
Don't put private customer information into public tools.
Yeah,
All right, that's it.
that's the best security you're getting.
There's lots of ways to anonymize it and do those kinds of things, so you can still get the value out of it. But putting people's private information up into cloud tools, not a smart thing to do. There are ways, if you've got a tech team or whatever, there are ways to get private copies of these models where you can put data into it like that and know that it's going to be secure and safe. But it's it's a heavier lift.
I got nothing to add.
Cool.
We've got another dead microphone, so we're passing along. Okay, so basically what I'm hearing you say is use all the traditional things. If you were sharing the story about the client to somebody else without giving away their real names or anything like that, so you can upload and use it, talk about the person, but do the same things you would do if you were having a conversation with another agent trying to get assistance on the problem. Does that sound about right?
Yes,
Common sense. Use your common sense. Okay. This is another side of the privacy, trust, and ethics. How do you explain to clients that you use AI while still building trust? So the question is, some people are concerned that if their clients know that they utilize AI in their business, that it will cause issues or problems that they're not getting the real them.
It honestly hasn't come up in a conversation with a client, but it doesn't. I don't think there's a change to it, right? You're still the brains behind the operation. They're still talking to the expert on the subject matter. They're still getting your knowledge, your expertise, your guidance. AI, again, is your assistant. It's a tool to help you expedite processes and make them more efficient, but it does not replace you. You're not going to go to, AI and say, like, solve this problem, my deal's falling through. It might give you some brainstorming, but it's not going to do the work for you. So, again, though it hasn't come up, I don't think it would be an issue at all.
I have to agree. You have to understand they're probably ahead of you. There's a lot of clients out there in their jobs that are using AI much more extremely than you may think. So you may get somebody who may be very untech savvy and they don't even have an iPhone or a Droid. I get that, but that's a special case. And if they have that type of paranoia, it just may be as simple as a conversation on the phone with, what is the concern? Let me get that solved for you. But I don't think you're going to get clients saying, you use AI in your business, I don't want to work with you. I don't see that happening. They're using it every day as well to check labels on the little things in the grocery stores to see if there's poison in their food. They're using it for all kinds of stuff you have no idea.
I just look at it from a human perspective. I think if there's a situation where you think that it's going to erode trust with your client for some reason, then be transparent about it. Yeah, exactly. Talk about it. Explain it. But like generally, if you're using these tools appropriately, they're not going to know because AI is going to do the first 70 to 80% of it, and you're going to do the remaining 20. And if you're doing that well, that nobody will ever know because it'll be your voice. It'll be just something that's helping you move faster.
You know, it's no different than what you're doing already. Because you need help, you go onto Google, you do a search, you do research, you get all the information, you go back to the client. You go to AI, you do the research, you ask for help, you get the information, you go back to the client. There's no difference. It's the same thing. You just have a tool now that's a lot faster, and it does the task for you of the search. You don't have to do all that manual labor anymore. So AI is doing the same thing Google was doing for you all along. And every one of your clients, most 99% are using Google search.
Yeah, I was just going to say I'm totally transparent with my clients. In fact, we'll use AI tools during a workshop when we're doing a planning session or developing core values or whatever. So we as a group will work with the AI to come up with the desired outcome. And I haven't had any issues with that process at all. Anything?
Yeah, and the same with me. I'm very, very transparent in utilizing that. My clients out of state, they forget how I'm utilizing AI for images in their state. You know, I have a restoration company in Michigan, and the guy loves me, and he's like, how do you get all these like photos and stuff like that? And it's like, well, he doesn't realize it's all AI stuff. But, you know, again, I go through, I create profiles, and, you know, I get asked that all the time. It's like, how am I able to produce all this content, whatnot? And I'm very, very upfront in how we do it. So there's no hiding it.
Are we still down to one? Yep.
Yeah. All right. And I'm just going to say that it sounds like transparency, understanding they're using it as much as you most likely, and transparency and just being honest about what you are and aren't doing is really the way to go. And I have to say, I was in the doctor's office yesterday. The doctor pulled out his phone and said, "Don't hate me for this. Siri, open Chat GPT." I am not kidding. And he asked it a question, got a response, and said, "Okay, let's chat about this a little bit more. I just wanted to double check something." So it is going to be, everywhere, not just, and more, you know, and he did it transparently, right, in front of me and was like, let's do this. So I think that's a great answer. I love that. All right, we have one more sponsor, America's Preferred Home Warranty. They had a family emergency and Rizaldi could not be here. When you're helping clients buy or sell a home, having a reliable home warranty partner is about more than just covering repairs. It's about peace of mind. What makes America's Preferred Home Warranty stand out is they let your clients choose your own licensed contractor. No jumping through hoops, no guessing who's coming to fix the issue. And since we're talking about transparency and trust, they also go beyond the basics. They include identity theft protection, something more and more homeowners are thinking about as we all move more of our lives and transactions online. So thank you to America's Preferred Home Warranty. We are moving into our final topic. I know you all can smell the food, and hopefully you're hungry. And we are going to talk about future-proofing yourself in a world of digital agents. Okay, so picture this. I want you to dream a little bit with me about the future. Your client pulls up to your office, gets into your auto-driving branded vehicle. They get driven to the home they want to see and are guided by an AI assistant that answers their questions along the way about the neighborhood, highlight features, and sends their feedback straight to your CRM. So when they are done showing and they return to your office, You have all the information and feedback you need about what they liked or didn't like about that property, ready to take them to the next step. There are auto-driving cars out there. In fact, it may not even be seeing the actual home anymore. We may even be doing, what are the goggles with the 3D world you put on? What is it? VR, there we go. It may even be a VR world where you have the technology and they tour the home from your office. We do not know where it's headed, but it is definitely changing. Okay, so that also includes digital twins. So I know we are in the no, be yourself. However, that world in the future is likely to be changing. They may even show up in AI-powered searches. So how can you prepare for a world where agents might be represented not just by their brand, but by their data, their voice, and their systems? Okay, so question, do you believe AI to AI communication, like one client's AI talking to your AI, will become standard in the future? And if so, what will agents need to succeed in that kind of future?
That's a tough question for me because I am very, very people-oriented, and I don't think that that would be my ideal client. I think that that will be for someone else to handle, quite frankly. I can see the value of the efficiency aspect of it, and you would think that me being in operations, I would embrace it fully. But at the same time, I feel like there's a lot of room for error and miscommunication and things going awry. Maybe it's just because it's not here and I haven't fully inspected it yet. But I think that in a world with so much technology, that face-to-face interaction, that human touch will still be like the king. That's human interaction is going to be king, especially as we get more and more technology on it. Again, I'm not much of a dreamer, so that's my take on it as it stands right now.
I'm right with you. I'm back to authenticity. I have sold a house through VR, by the way. That is very cool. It was a $1.8 million home, and it was sold by 2 children playing on VR in the rooms. They loved it. Mommy and Daddy bought it. I think we get back to, so the complication for me with all of this discussion is if we aren't going to be there for our clients, if we aren't going to be the human aspect for them, then what are we going to do? What are you needed for? There's a brokerage firm out there that's tried this, and they've tried to put people into their houses with video cameras and everything else with no agents, and they failed miserably. Because we need to have a human with us, hold our hand, be beside us, answer questions, listen to tone of voice. We need to be connected. The goal with AI for me is that it does all that other stuff, the task work, so I can run all 5 of my companies, still show property every day, still work with every seller, and I answer every single call that comes into my phone every day until 6 o'clock. So that's the human component. I'm using AI and all the other tools I can to let me be available to my clients and my friends at all times. All the rest of the tasks are controlled by efficiency. That is the win. All of us win if we're together building relationships with those clients. You don't get to look at properties with my team unless you're in our car with us. We want to talk to you the whole drive up and the whole drive back. We want to be with you, listening to you, hearing your stories, finding out what you like. I'm going to use AI to use follow-up. I'm going to use AI to do what you said. After we close, I'm going to put all the notes about that client into AI and that say, what did they love? And then I'm going to have AI write 12 emails that are going to fire out automatically for the next 12 months. And it's going to search and find all the stuff around the fact that they like red wine. And it's going to give them local articles and information about red wine for 12 months. And that is going to be very specific to them because that's what they love. So AI is a tool to play with. You're the star. You have to be with the clients. So getting into a car, automation, and letting them go off by themselves and a twin or whatever, no. I'm out.
Mic drop.
You nailed it.
All I can say is the future that Rayson painted is not a future I want to be a part of. It sounds absolutely miserable.
liquidated, even if it's split between 4 children. I think that's why it came, because I think there's a bunch of adult children inheriting houses and would just want to remotely sell it. So I'm looking at like linkhome.ai, which is like remote AI real estate.
I'll answer that one. I have sold 20 this year, but just like you're talking about. So I specialize in heirs and estates. And I typically get the phone call from the kid whose parents have just died and the house is in Tucson. So I handle that for them. The human touch is absolutely the most important thing, is that I'm there to listen and be emotional with them and understand what's happening. And then I get them through the process of liquidating everything in the house, cleaning the house, getting all the repairs done, and getting the house sold. No matter how many kids are in the line, there's always usually a trustee. I don't care about all those other website.coms. They're just flash in the night, that stuff. They need you. They need you to talk to them. And I was just on a month trip to Europe, and I had the weirdest experience. I was in Chicago, ran into the Design Institute to see it, and a guy came walking down the strip, and he said, "Are you Tony Ray Baker?" And I said, "Yes." And he goes, "You just sold my house in Tucson. I'm DC." And I said, "What?" And he goes, "I recognize your picture with the iguana. You're all teeth." And so what is the odds? But I ran into DC, he came running up, hugged me, his wife and kids came running up and hugged me, and we all met in Chicago for a brief moment, but I sold that family's house and there was 4 kids. So you are needed. So you just have to specialize in it and make sure that you are letting people know what you can do for them. But it's on a basic level, and it's raw, and it's red, and it's getting into the emotion and hearing them and the pain they're in and dealing with it. Good?
No, I actually coach a company that flips homes, so they're predominantly buy those kinds of properties. And the one thing that we keep coming back to whenever we do a planning session is how important that human touch is, that human interaction. And companies like, was it Open Door, failed with just trying to leveraging all that technology. So maybe there is something out there, Jefferson, but at least the clients that I'm working with that are in that space aren't really, it's not on their radar yet.
Yeah, the biggest reason why anybody would leave somebody in my industry as a marketing agency is if they start to feel like a number, and that goes along what we've been saying, right? And there was a discussion I had with Tony and somebody else that I'm kind of done with most of my day by Monday, Tuesday, most of my week by Tuesday. But I just don't put my feet up. It gives me more time to spend in that one-on-one conversations, having coffee with my clients, dinner, lunch, or whatever like that. So I'm not just utilizing and calling it a week after Tuesday. I'm utilizing an extra time for that personal touch.
I was just thinking the only way I could see your vision working while keeping it personal is, clients' AI and my AI are looking at each other's calendars and where we are on specific days and times to find the perfect time for us to meet, whether it be in person or, best time for phone calls, and scheduling appointments that way.
Yes.
So that we can have a good, personal interaction that fits everybody's schedules and makes it all efficient. And that's what the AIs are for, is to bring the human connection.
That would be the perfect agentic tax.
And it's happening today.
And it's happening
Does
already.
anyone? We're gonna wrap this up. So, anyone have any last minute words of advice in 1 sentence or less that you want to say, or one final one?
If any of you has a business challenge that you're facing right now and you want to figure out how to automate it or how to build an agent around it or something like that during the after session, come back. I've got my laptop. We'll build one together and practice.
Can I do a shameful plug? So on November 15th, we're doing a charity event. I'll teach 3 hours of AI for free. So you can come to the Tucson Association of Realtors. We just did it a few months ago. We booked it out. We had no more room. I think we had 125 was at the max. So we will probably book it out again. We raised $6,000 or something like that for charity, something like that. I'll teach you all kinds of fun applications of AI, just really down and gritty stuff you can play with AI as a real estate agent or a small business. I'll just teach you fun stuff. You'll have 3 hours of me. So.
All right, I want to move on to the second part. So first, a big round of applause for our panelists. Thank you so much.